Today, we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation.
As a result of that, and I think as a result of this positive step forward, the president has decided to lift the pause on aid and on our security assistance to Ukraine going forward. And that's effective immediately.
We're going to tell them this is what's on the table. Ukraine is ready to stop shooting and start talking. And now it'll be up to them to say yes or no. I hope they're going to say yes. And if they do, then I think we made great progress. If they say no, then we'll unfortunately know what the impediment is to peace here.
Well, as you just heard there in that previous clip, Secretary of State Marco Rubio there with Mike Waltz, they were able to go over there in Saudi Arabia, meet with Zelensky and his team, and were able to get a ceasefire deal done. So kudos to President Trump and to his administration. And it's crazy because who would have thought in just a few short years that President Trump, Donald J. Trump, will be being considered for the Nobel Peace Prize, and rightfully so. That conflict in Ukraine has been going on for what, 3 years? And the Biden administration was doing everything they could to egg it on. They were throwing insults at Putin out publicly. They were trying to get Ukraine merged into, added to NATO, knowing that once Ukraine, the moment Ukraine signed on to NATO, that immediately would have thrust the United States into World War III. And as you probably already know, it's because within NATO, there is an agreement that if one nation is attacked or fights, everybody fights, which is why NATO was so against adding Ukraine, because we have an ocean in between America and Europe. The European nations don't, which means that if Ukraine would have been added, would have kicked off World War III, which means that Putin then would have just taken the gloves off. There would have been no more playing nice, because let's just be real. If he wanted to, he could obliterate Ukraine instantly and take whatever he wanted, if he wanted to. In this specific fight, this turmoil, that's what this is about. The Russian-speaking people, they're in Crimea, reportedly were being attacked and brutalized by the Ukrainian government. The word got back to Vladimir. He said, let me go and protect these people. Zelensky's like, hey, listen, no longer your people. They're our people. They're in our country. You have no rights to that. And that's what started the battle. Now, with Joe Biden egging it on and insult Putin, President Trump took the opposite approach. The media keeps trying to goad him into attacking Vladimir Putin, which is the silliest thing to do. Because if you want to bring peace, the worst thing you can do is to attack the person that you're trying to bring peace with. And let's not get it mistaken. Russia has the nuclear power that could help decimate this planet, just like America has the power to decimate the planet. So the last thing you want is the two strongest superpowers going toe-to-toe with each other, while the European Union's nations and while Joe Biden is egging it on for whatever reason, trying to push World War III. So that's why when the EU is talking big and bad and bold, it makes you laugh, because these aren't tough guys or tough women. They're not at all. As a matter of fact, check out this clip of the Prime Minister Stamer, as he's going to show you what type of boxing skills he's got. Check this clip out.
Let's try and whack it. Yes, this is good. And again, that's it. And again, try and breathe. Relax. I'm convinced you can hit it harder than that. I think that's a bit pushy. Look at that one, literally, nice and fast. You just throw it straight out like that.
Straight out like that?
Yeah, nice and quick.
That one?
Yeah. Come. I think somebody's going to show you how it's done on this one. I think.
It's going to move it like that.
If you enjoyed this video and you like the content, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I'll never ask for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, that is currency. It helps spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On this channel, the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. So once you subscribe, hit that notification bell and select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Now, you can easily tell that this man has never had a fight in his life, but has the audacity and steps up on center stage globally and talks trash, and they want to down talk Putin. He also was very disrespectful to President Trump, especially after he lost in 2020. They never thought Trump was coming back to power. He disrespected President Trump, swore he would never work with him again, attacked him. And then when Trump won, guess what he had to do? He had to come back. He had to apologize. He had to bend and kiss the ring. He had to act like he just loves President Trump because he knew that he put his foot in his mouth. And that was a stupid thing for him to do. And so now that he's back under the President Trump's good graces, he set it up where his country was loaning the money to Ukraine. alone, while telling President Trump he was giving it to him, and had the nerve to badmouth America, badmouth President Trump for making Zelensky sign this minerals deal to get those rare earth minerals. Because let's just face it, the superconductor train is already rolling, and whoever controls that market share actually is the superpower of the world, because everything is moving to these mini super chip microconductors. And so whoever is able to get those minerals, and Ukraine has $14.2 trillion worth of rare earth minerals under their feet, underneath their soil. And it's the fact that the UK and the European unions have guaranteed loans with Ukraine, where regardless what happens, they were going to get repaid, unless Putin decided he was just going to gobble up everything, then none of them would have got anything. So the fact that they wanted to go toe-to-toe with America made no sense, when it's our weaponry, it's our military, and it's our money that's been funding this thing primarily. We've outspent the entire EU. Now, the media reports like to keep throwing out this $175 billion number, but we know, how honest has the media been to us over the last 4 years? Remember, Joe Biden was healthy, Kamala was black, the inflation was transitory, the border was secure, and now we only spent $175 billion. And even when we say we only spent, that's nuts for an unwinnable war. Ukraine will never win this, ever. All they can do is be prolonged so they don't have any more people to fight, and Putin gets what he wants anyway. At least this way, President Trump is helping preserve human life in Ukraine. They've already lost 25% of their population. 25% of their male population is dead. They're never coming back, ever. Parts of their country have been obliterated, destroyed. It's going to take money to rebuild that. So it's going to have to be American businesses, European business over there helping this rebuild, when the whole thing could have been stopped and avoided if we'd have played it smart years ago. So let's check out what President Trump has to say about the announcement of Ukraine agreeing and signing the deal. Check this out.
But very importantly, and I said it, Ukraine, ceasefire, Ukraine, ceasefire, just agreed to a little while ago. Now we have to go to Russia, and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also, and we can get this show on the road. We can get this horrible war where 2,000-3,000 soldiers a week, every week, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 sometimes. I get the reports, and they're not American soldiers. They're Ukrainian and they're Russian. But people are being killed outside of that. People are being killed in the cities as things explode throughout the cities. And we want to get that war over with. So I think it's a very big, I think it's a big difference between the last visit you saw at the Oval Office and this. So that's a total ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed to it, and hopefully Russia will agree to it. We're going to meet with them later on today and tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to wipe out a deal. But I think the ceasefire is very important. If we can get Russia to do it, that'll be great. If we can't, we just keep going on, and people are going to get killed. Lots of people.
Is Zelensky invited back to the White House?
Sure, absolutely.
So there we have it, folks. There we have it. President Trump again. We just had the Canadians and the Ontario Premier bow down and stop with their grandstanding of threatening all of these tariffs, and he was going to suspend electricity. Trump said, okay, you want to do that? Fine. We'll double it. Now it's a 50% tariff. And don't forget, Canada, we subsidize your country to the tune of $250 billion a year. So don't talk too tough, because our business with you is only worth 1.3% of our GDP. Your business with us is worth 20% of your GDP. And so while the media had everybody freaking out, those that knew. There was no grandstanding. They were going to fold. Same thing with this. You had the Democrats telling Zelensky, no ceasefire. It's not their family members that's dying over there. And if anybody's been paying attention, we get a chance to realize the Democrat Party has no type of concern for human life. They don't care. They wouldn't clap for a 13-year-old cancer survivor. They wouldn't clap for the 95-year-old mother of a recently freed and returned home hostage, Mark Fogel. They wouldn't clap and cheer for the legislation that protects young women, unlike Laken Riley, who was not protected, who was attacked by an illegal immigrant. These people don't value anything that's beneficial to the people. The only thing they cheer for was money. When President Trump said, we've sent money to Ukraine in this endless war, and Elizabeth Warren and the rest of those Democrat left-wing lunatics clap for that. They clap for that. I know they are pissed off that Ukraine agreed to this deal, because the Democrat Party did everything they could to stop it. And luckily, President Trump and his administration and American patriots like you pushing for this. Because remember, years ago, people would have taken to the streets if President Trump would have been trying to stop this war. it was acting polite towards Putin. That's how much propaganda the Biden administration has pumped into the streets. You have American citizens fighting for Ukrainians to keep dying in a war that they could never win. But luckily, the adults have come back into the White House, and the diplomats are there handling business. Marco Rubio, great job. President Trump, J.D. Vance, awesome job. So I just wanted to jump in and share that with you. And if you've been watching it this far, I really do appreciate you for standing there with me. And if you haven't already, do me a solid, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And more than anything else, thank you sincerely